Welcome to more of Doe's Fun with TAC Phones. This is episode 6, STU-5 Signal Terminating Unit. Sit back and I hope you learned something.
This is a STU-5. This is one of the ways to feel that this is one of the enclosures. The actual unit itself is in the inside and it slides out like this, which allows you to configure different jumpers and strap settings to allow it to do different things. These were basically used to perform signal terminating and converting duties or functions, and basically they allowed you to connect your phones back here on the back panel. There's actually a line side and what's called a drop side, and it allowed you to configure phones to be able to get phone access over the old GMF SATCOM terminals. It allowed true 4-wire phones to work with 2-wire phones, allowed field phones to ring commercial phones. There actually was a whole bunch of things you could do. There's actually a book or a manual that you could look up at a table what you wanted to do, and it would tell you, set it like this. You need 1 unit, you need 2 units, and how to configure your phones and everything to make it work in these examples. These were, I love the crap out of these. I had a whole bunch of them when I was working in the Air National Guard. I had some that were mounted in actual standalone cases like this, so you could set them under a desk or under a field desk or in a vehicle or whatever inside a tent. I had some that were actually mounted in transit cases, so you could just set the transit case where you needed to set up phones at. And actually had some that were mounted in a rack unit that was inside a shelter I used from my communications patching, and they're actually wired into patch base, so I could change stuff without having to mess with changing the wiring on here. Became a big deal when they came out with the STU-3 secure telephones. People wanted to be able to use them in the field. At the time, you didn't have any kind of 2-wire service in the field. They didn't have TDC, which is the Air Force's comm program. They didn't have VoIP at the time, so you had to use 2-wire telephones, and these things were a godsend. Let you do all kinds of stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead. We're going to configure some. We're going to demonstrate some of the things that these allowed us to do. So go ahead and I'll reconfigure. We'll come back and we'll do some checking. Okay, this is one of the configurations we used before. I actually put a brick under here. Hopefully you can see there's a little LED light that will show the status as the STU-5 performs its converting functions. Basically what this is going to allow us to do is going to allow us to talk between a 2-wire TA312 and a 4-wire TA838, both in set to point-to-point mode. Basically it'll do all the conversion between the different signaling that it uses, so they'll be able to go back and forth. So the first thing we'll do is we'll pick the 838 up, and you'll see it ring the 312. Now it uses what's called a 2-second ring down, so it'll stay ringing for 2 seconds and then stop. So we'll pick the 312 up and test 1, 2, 3. Test 1, 2, 3. Test 1, 2, 3. Okay, logical both ways. Now we'll go the other way. We'll call from the 312 to the 838. Take the 312 off hook. Since the STU-5 sees that, it sends an automatic ringtone to the other end. This is one of the applications it was used for. Okay, this is a similar application to the 312. This time we're replacing the 312 with a commercial telephone. This became a big deal because I actually ran into an exercise one time where the person in charge, the commanding officer, did not want to have any tactical phones, which meant 838s or any 312s on any of the tabling or desks in the command post area. So we use these and we put actual commercial phones out. So this STU-5 allowed us to do that. We'll go ahead and we'll ring from the 838 to the commercial phone. Test 1, 2, 3. Test 1, 2, 3. Test. Test 1, 2, 3. Works good. Okay, now we can go ahead and pick it up, bring it back the other way. Test 1, 2. Test. Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2, 3. Test. And that was it. And that was one of the things that we really liked about the STU-5 is it allowed us to use commercial phones and mix with the tactical stuff, which gives us a lot more flexibility in different things we were trying to do. Okay, in this configuration we're going to use 2 STU-5s. One considered to be a local end and the other remote end. Basically, this configuration, the way they're set up and strapped internally, is going to allow us to use a normal telephone to call 312 and the same 312 to a normal telephone. Basically, we'll go ahead and pick this up. You see, 312 rings. Take the 312 off hook. Test 1, 2, 3. Test, test. Test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Test out. And that's basically how it works. It's automated. Sees it come off, goes through the entire system, and it sends a reading signal this. Now we'll go the other way. We'll go from the 312 to the commercial phone. It's set for what's called a 2-second ring down, so it automatically will only ring for 2 seconds. There is a option or a setting where you can actually set it for a continuous ring. That would probably be pretty annoying if you did that to somebody, so most of the time we just ran 2 seconds because there generally was somebody sitting right there where the phone was. So we'll go ahead and pick the phone up and answer it. Test 1, 2, 3. Test, test. Test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Test out. And that's it. Many times this configuration was used. These are actually wired back to back on here, 4-wire. You actually would have a satellite link in the middle, so you'd have one connected to a TSC-100 SATCOM van, the other one perhaps to a TSC-94 over the satellite link, and this gave us the ability to do this. I've also done this just on site, so like I said, you had commercial phones talking to 312s because people didn't want 312s on their desk. And it's also automatic, too. You don't have to crank the 312, you just pick it up. And the actual STU senses the 312 coming off hook, sends a ring signal. And that's 2 STU-5s connecting to 2-wire phones with ring down. Now, okay, this is an interesting test I'm going to do. I've never done this before, but we're going to use STU-5s to allow us to talk from a 4-wire TA-838 point-to-point to a 4-wire TA-341 set point-to-point. I don't have two 838, so this is filling in. This functions the same way as an 838 does. They're basically set for 4-wire point-to-point. So we'll go ahead and pick it up. We'll see what happens. Okay, it rang that way. Test 1, 2, 3. Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2, 3. Test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Test 1. Okay, so that works. So we do know that STUs are capable of being set up to do this. I've never had to do this before because I wanted to connect two 838s. I just ran 4 wires. But this works. We'll go ahead and we'll go the other way now. Okay. Off hook. Test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Test 1, 2. Test, test. Test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Test on. There we have it. It works. And you can see there's the 2 wires that are connecting the STU-5s right here, and the internal straps are set up to allow this to occur. Lots of times these were used, like I said, to get communications, especially commercial comm. If you had one needed access to the post, to the base switchboard, and you're in the field, we actually would take and set up a bank of these so we'd have 3 or 4 phone numbers back in the unit you could grab in the field. The SATCOM guys liked it because they could use the same phone number when they're sitting at home in garrison, and when they went to the field, when they needed to call the SATCOM controllers. Our weapons controllers loved it because they could use their MCE comm system, which was 4-wire only, to be able to virtually call the FAA on a telephone when they had to coordinate over the airspace and mission. So that's what they're used for. They're pretty ingenious devices. They basically became replaced as stuff got smaller. They actually came out with the same company actually made a multiplexer, which combined several circuits together, and instead of having a STU-5, everything was done on a little circuit card. So you just plug this card into this multiplexer channel, and you could plug 2 phones into it. So, I mean, we went from this to that, and it worked well. I don't even know if they still use these anymore. I bought these. This one I bought on eBay, and this one I bought on another site. They're a little pricey. I think I paid $250 for this one. I haven't seen any more on eBay since. This one I actually bought for about $50. I was looking at it online, and the site I found sold test equipment, and they had this, and they didn't know what it was used for. So I got a good deal on that. Both these work. If you happen to can get your hands on some, 2 of them are good to have. They work on basically negative 48 volts as their power supply. They have a power supply in the back which allows us to run AC right here, but I mean they're quite versatile, especially if you're going to use them for any kind of emergency prepping comm or anything like that. They're handy. If you get one, get the manual. The most important part of the manual is in the very back. There's a table and chart that says, they ask basically you look at the table and it tells you in one column, I want to do this and talk to this phone. It tells you the actual configurations to use to set the straps for inside the phone. It also gives you diagrams of it showing how you want to make sure your wiring's correct. So that was pretty handy. But I mean, this is it. That's a STU-5, and we hope you learned something about STU-5s. And like I said, this is proof. Somebody asked me a question over one of my other videos whether you can talk like this, and you can talk to water. But like I said, got to have some STU-5s like that.
Thank you for watching my video on STU-5s. If you have any questions or comments, please contact me and on the email address listed